Hi, Jody, Andrea, and Evelyn. It's Kathleen here, your friendly behavior consultant. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. I know that you're all keen to implement an intervention for Elliot. Now, as you know, Elliot is a 5-year-old boy diagnosed with a severe intellectual disability, and he's been engaging in aggression in the form of scratching another person's skin, whether it be the teacher or the EA, you guys, or the 5 peers in his class. Now, we've implemented quite a few proactive strategies to help reduce aggression. So, we're limiting proximity between Elliot and his peers. We're keeping his hands busy. We're giving him behavior-specific praise for when his hands are down. And we've also really been focusing on his existing PECS program to try and improve his spontaneous communication. And you guys have done a great job. However, we've only seen a small reduction in the aggression. So we've also conducted our functional assessment, which included all those interviews we did and the ABC data collection, as well as the experimental functional analysis. And your prior experience with the FBAs was really helpful with this process. Now, Elliot is quite unique. The first EFA that we conducted was inconclusive. So we had to tweak our design a little bit, and we included consecutive ignoring conditions to help clarify our hypothesis that Elliot's aggression is actually maintained by automatic reinforcement, which means he likes the feeling of scratching someone else's skin. Now, there's not a lot out there in the research that we can consult, okay? I'll give you an example. In 2013, Beavers et al. Did a review of functional analysis and found that aggression maintained by automatic reinforcement only accounted for 2% of all published cases. Okay, so I did, however, find a study by Saini et al. In 2015 with a participant very similar to Elliot. And to reduce scratching behavior, they had the mediators wear protective gear and found that it acted as a timeout from sensory reinforcement, which replicated the findings from Maslewski et al. In 1994. But in their study, they had the participant wear gloves as a timeout from sensory. So, seeing as you guys are already wearing protective gear and we can't have Elliot's peers covered up all the time, we are going to go ahead with having Elliot wear gloves as a timeout from sensory. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend an intervention that is intrusive and basically restraint, because I don't want it to affect Elliot's dexterity or his ability to engage in fine motor activities. However, the data you guys have been collecting, which is awesome, thank you, that show that he's engaging in higher rates of aggression during times like group time, circle time, when it's more difficult to keep his hands engaged, not necessarily when he needs his hands for fine motor activities. So let me explain how it's going to work. I did email you guys the handout with all the steps. We're going to use gloves like this. So these are just kids' gardening gloves, and they're very rubbery on the outside, which should block any sensory reinforcement Elliot might get if he tries scratching with these on, okay? So if Elliot scratches a teacher, an EA, or a peer, you're going to put the gloves on him, and you're going to set timer for 2 minutes, okay? And you're going to pair that with a verbal reprimand that's neutral yet firm. Elliot, no scratching, hands down. And then you continue on with whatever activity you were doing when the scratching occurred. And through those 2 minutes, it's important that you still provide that differential reinforcement of, good job keeping your hands down, Elliot. Then at the end of the 2 minutes, you're going to remove the gloves, and you're going to make sure that you fill out the data sheet, okay? Which I also emailed to you guys, but I'd like to go over this more thoroughly. Now, Elliot's parents were at the agency today. I explained the intervention to them, and they signed the consent. On Tuesday, when I come in, I will bring 3 pairs of these gloves and this little clip to help you guys keep them close at hand, and a timer. So this isn't exactly an intervention that you're going to go and implement after watching this video, but I do think the video is useful for you. The 3 of you can practice the steps that we've talked about, okay? Then when I come in, I'm going to model the intervention with Elliot. You guys will have a chance to rehearse, and I will give you feedback, and you'll have a chance to ask me questions or bring up any concerns. I'll also go over the data sheet then too. Because this is an intrusive procedure, ethically, I need to be there to support you guys during the implementation initially, okay? So please don't hesitate to call or email if you have any concerns after you've practiced. I'm feeling really positive about this intervention, and hopefully we can significantly reduce Elliot's aggressions without having to remove him from the class. All right, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you on Tuesday.